the woman who was my girlfriend at that time happened to be in town as well. And we met at the house of a mutual friend. She was married, but not to me now. And, she had a kid, and I had a kid. And you know, I want to tangent off and just say one little thing. I was sitting under a tree with my 7-year-old child while I was having these thoughts about time and change and stuff. And my child, Alina, said, you know, life has many stages. And I said, really, what are the stages? And so then she started saying, you know, first you're 2 and you don't know this, then you're 3 and you know. And then you're 7, she said. And then I said, what after 7? She said, huh. She said, then you grow up and have kids and your life is about them. So I went to a house of a mutual friend, and my old girlfriend Taya was there. And after the dinner and we were all leaving, she said to me, you know, I have all the letters you wrote to me, and I was cleaning out my house, and I was just going to throw them out, but I know you're into this memoir stuff, and so if you want them. And I said, yeah, sure, whatever. I was thinking, what letters? You know, we lived together, or we lived up the street from each other. I don't know. Did you ever write? Did I write her? I don't remember. Couldn't be much there, but all right, whatever. And she came back and she gave me this fairly thick sheaf of stuff. So I tossed it in the back of my car, didn't think about it again. And a few days later, I was at the house of one of my Afghan relatives, and they tend not to have a lot of books. You know, these are not library-laden houses. So it was late at night, and my daughter was asleep, everyone was asleep, and I couldn't sleep. I needed print in front of my eyes, and I didn't have a book. And then I remembered, those letters. I'll go read those letters. And I went out and I got that bundle of stuff, and I opened it up. And oh my God, you know, I started reading the first letter, and I will now dip into a metaphor that may not be a common experience for all of you, but it was like taking LSD. And if you've ever taken LSD, you know that shortly after you swallow that thing, you have the uncomfortable experience of knowing you're in for the ride, and you have no idea how hard and far that ride is going to be. You're there. Because I opened this letter, and it was like the emotions that I was feeling that day were exactly the same in my head at this moment. And I realized that, you know, that my relationship with this person had been so tormented, and there were so many letters that went back and forth. It was so tormented that that's why I left Portland. That's why I went to San Francisco. And the minute I got to San Francisco, I turned my back on it, and my life was all better, and I'd lived a great life since then, never a moment of unhappiness. But I think that basically that is true. But I took whatever the turmoil and emotion, I sealed it into a, you know, where they put Social Security, that lockbox. It was in there with that stuff, and I never looked at it again. And therefore, it had not aged. It had not, you know, it had not grown stale. Nothing had happened to it. It was just exactly like it was. And it was so heavy. It was like I realized, oh, no wonder I couldn't take this when I was young and vulnerable, and this was all I had. And I'm reading those. Then I was like in for it. So I'm reading the letters, and I find some of my last letters that I wrote from San Francisco after I left Portland, and I see that I'm writing from the perspective of someone who feels that the great experiment has failed. You know, it's like we were going to change the world. We were going to do this great thing, and all this relationship was part of that. And I'm writing from San Francisco, and I'm saying, I can see now that I'm not going to change the world. And my dreams and ambitions are scaled down. I only want small things now. I want to have a place where I feel at home. I want someone I love who loves me back. I want to, you know, have and deserve the respect of my society around me. I want to make a living doing something that I feel good about. That's all I want. And I realized I got all those things. And now I realize those are not small things, actually. Those are huge things. I came away from that experience really kind of, something happened to me. And what happened to me was this. I realized that it wasn't just, the sinking the ark was not what it really was. What I realized was that the story actually happened. The story was real. And what I realized about that is that the story-like essence of real life that we look for when we write memoir, that's the realest thing. Everything else fades away, but there is something permanent in the themes of life that we can search for and that we live, and that's why I titled my other talk as Life is Story. The arc of your life is actually your real life, and that's what you're doing. You're creating the story of your life as you live it. Now there was one other thing that I was going to say, but I forget what it was. I think that's enough. Let's leave it there.